Hey everybody, it's Brad Montgomery with number 3 in a video series about managing burnout, especially for healthcare workers. So burnout is a thing. You've got a tough job, don't you? Yes, you do. And we worry about you. We've been worried about you. For us muggles, people outside healthcare have been worried about you. But of course, even though they don't always say it, everyone is worried about you, because if we lose our healthcare workers, where are we? So burnout's important. Let's talk about it. Today's video is about using social and emotional support and the science behind that to manage burnout in healthcare. So what is social and emotional support? This just means this concept of making sure people feel heard and seen, to make sure people around you feel significant, they're connected with meaning and purpose, and they feel supported. Basically, they want to know if you've got their back. Something your grandma did, something your second grade teacher did. This is not that hard. But again, don't be misled that just because it's simple doesn't mean it's not important and doesn't mean it's not proven. So let's go through 4 tips about how to use social and emotional support in the healthcare world to deal with burnout. Tip number 1, lean on people. We all need a little support sometimes. It's going to be up to you to make sure you go to your people, your network, and let them know, I am having a really tough day over here. Or these last 12 days have just taken their toll on me. I am done. And really what you're looking for is coworkers and friends and family and partners and whomever to say, like, well, sit down and tell me about it. What's going on? They don't have to fix it. They just have to listen. So that means you're going to have to go to your people. A little venting over coffee can go a really long way. You will both feel validated. Everyone feels better. And then also just reminding yourself through this leaning on your people that you're not alone. Yes, it's hard, but you're not alone. Don't underplay that. So work your network. Maybe it's the person at the next desk. Maybe it's somebody at the nursing station. Someone solving computer problems just like you. I don't know what your role is in healthcare, but you know who those people are. For me, it's Lindsay. When I called my buddy Lindsay and say, we got to go out for a beer, we go out for a beer and we talk about our lives and our jobs. And then the other person goes, that sounds tough. And, we say, why? It is tough. Yeah. Then we leave. And both of us feel better. No problems have been solved, but we don't need therapy anymore. That's the power of working your network and leaning on your people. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, create a team vibe. Be responsible for your work culture. So I know what you're thinking, which is the person in charge of the work culture is the leader, right? Well, sort of. If you're the leader, it starts with you. Get going. But I can't tell you how many times I travel around the country and I'm working with some healthcare group and we talk about, well, who is the person is like the beacon of joy, the one that makes everyone feel safer on, the person that makes a difference for everybody. Who is that person? The times it is not the leader is nearly all of them. Maybe it's the person working at reception. Maybe it's somebody in facilities management who cleans the floors, who just always has a smile and calls people by name. You know what I mean? That could be you. It should be you. Take responsibility for making sure the culture at work is strong and positive. This is similar to what I told you about leaning on your network. It feels like, wait a minute, I'm the one burnt out. I'm not going to be investing in the culture for everyone else. Well, you ought to be, because it just turns out that is one of the magic low-hanging fruits of building and improving your wellness of being. It's for satisfying your burnout. Don't be afraid of saying, all right, fine, I'm a leader of culture. I'm going to go into work with a smile. I'm going to make sure I check in with people. I'm going to make sure everyone knows we care. So specifically, let me give you one idea about how to do this. And I already mentioned it, it's the check-in. This means you're going to go up to people regularly and say, how's it going? Now, this isn't like a greeting, like, how's it going? It's good, how's up? What's up? Good, what's up? It's not that. It's, hey, how are you? I'm fine. No, I'm asking you, like, seriously, how's it going? Oh, that makes such a big difference. Then you just need to be a really good listener. You need to feed back and let them know that you care and that they are not a number and that someone has their back. not only will you make them better, not only will you be role modeling awesome culture, but you'll be building yourself up. You'll be satisfying your own need to feel something other than burnout. By investing in others, you invest in yourself. I know. And again, based in science. But I dare you, if you don't believe me, just go try it. See how it feels. It's magic. Third tip, don't be afraid to ask for help. You got a tough job. Whatever. I don't know your job, but I know healthcare is super complicated, and there's so many different moving parts, and depending on where you are, it's moving so flippin' fast. It's just really easy to get burnt out, and no one wants you to quit. So when you go to people and say, hey, at an appropriate time, I need a few minutes with you because I'm just really struggling with burnout or with this issue, or I've got too much on my plate, or I'm behind and I'm never going to catch up. I need to talk through with somebody. That makes a massive difference. It's easy to feel like you have to be Superman or Superwoman, superhero, but you don't. And you're better off when you ask for help. We're not great at asking for help, are we? That's a skill that needs to be developed. It will help you. We're told that we're supposed to just be tough and white knuckle it. But if you do that and you're just miserable when you go home and you end up being so miserable you end up quitting, does that help anybody? No. When I'm wondering about asking for help from my peers and my network, I remind myself that part of my job is to be a role model. And I remind myself that not many people are good for asking for help. So when I go to people and say, I really need your expertise, I'm struggling and I just need some advice. Can we put that on the calendar, or we do it right now, or can I meet you for coffee or whatever? What I'm role modeling to them is that they can do the same thing to me. And the other thing to remember too is sometimes we feel like asking for help makes us weak. It makes you strong. People who are secure enough in who they are and what they are to be able to say, it does not diminish me to say I don't know everything and I need some advice and some help. I'm telling you, it just makes you strong. And importantly, it gives other people a chance to have your back, make you feel less lonely, and there's a fantastic chance they're able to give you tactical help, strategic help to actually make things a little bit better for you at work. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Boom, that's your third tip. That leaves us, get ready for it, last tip, number 4. Celebrate the wins. There is a strategy in science called the theory of small wins, and it goes like this. If we focus throughout the day to find 3 or 5 or 10 things that make us say, yeah, that's a win. What happens is we train our brain to start looking for those positive moments, and it raises our scientific level of happiness. It raises our well-being, makes us mentally healthy. And in case there's any doubt about that, think about the opposite. We all know there's people who are super whiny, who always know exactly what's wrong, and then this person did something to me, and this other person treated me wrong, and I was in the parking lot, somebody took my parking lot or my space. And those people have trained their brain to look for all the awful things. And we know those people, we can recognize them. Turn that science around and look for the theory of small wins. So even though they're not in healthcare, the best story for me to illustrate the theory of small wins is when I took my family to Disneyland. So we're looking at this very long line and the big long maze, and we calculate, we can get through that maze, no problem. So we wait in this long line and we're going through the maze, and then we're finally near the end and we're there, and we turn the corner to get into the ride, and no, there's another room with another maze. So we're kind of, okay, but it looks different and it's decorated because it's Disney, and we go through that maze and you know what's going to happen, right? And we turn the corner, now we're in a third line. Disney knows exactly what they were doing. They were feeding our brains a little bit of joy. We made it through this portion of it. We're done with this second line. They were giving us little wins. Because had we looked at the massive line, not a third of the line, but all of it together, it would have been just too overwhelming and psychologically icky, and maybe we would have left Disneyland. But instead, they made us feel good about being there. Small wins work. Every single day, this is important. Find them, label them. You got to say that's a good thing. It'll change your day. And by the way, the degree of the wins is not significant. So they can be, your win might be, I finished this massive project. Your win might be in healthcare, I saved someone's life. Or we developed a technology that is going to change the way people live with diabetes, or whatever it is you're working on. Yeah, those are good wins. But small wins might be, hey, how about that? There was no problem finding a parking space at the hospital today. The small win might be, you know what? I made every light on the way to work. Maybe the small wins are, you know what? This isn't the best coffee, but I love the fact that there's a coffee pot here. I don't even have to deal with it. I just go and help myself. Get it? On a crappy day, your small win might be, this pencil is very sharp. Again, the degree of the win does not matter. We're tricking our brain to start seeing things in a positive light, and this stuff works. All right, my healthcare peeps, you've got it. We have come to the end of the series, How to Deal with Burnout in Healthcare. 4 tips related to social and emotional support. Now, if you feel like your organization in the healthcare world would benefit by a really funny, award-winning speaker to come and talk about positivity as a strategy, positivity as a healthcare tool, well, I'd love to be your guy. My topic is called The Undeniable Jaw-Dropping Power of Encouragement. We talk about using the specific type of encouragement, a specific type of positivity to help yourself and those people around you. It's really about performance. Plus, it's really funny. All right, love to talk to you. You've got this. I know it's hard, but you've got this. You're doing fine. Try these small basic steps. Do them enough so it turns into a habit. I think by the end of the week, you'll be surprised that we didn't magically cure all of the world's ills, but we took a massive step on managing burnout. You've got this.